Okay, so I'm back and I feel much better today. Last night was pretty intense because I spent the evening in the air conditioning and I don't know if I had heat exhaustion or heat fatigue. This is like the absolute worst time of the year. And for working on a roof. And so I was in the air conditioning and that AC felt like medicine. It felt like medicine. I felt like I was super sick and that AC was medicine. And yeah, I couldn't sleep because my leg there's like a place on the back of my leg where I didn't have sunblock. And it got sunburnt, it's like a patch. And it was keeping me from sleeping because it was really hurting. And so I didn't get a lot of rest last night, but I'm back and I've got a few things worked out here. I cut up a couple tube socks to cover my arm because the back of my arm was also kind of sensitive from yesterday. So, you rub it all over and there's some places where you can't get to, and yeah, that's what happens. So I'm wearing these old ripped pajama pants as well. I just want to cover them up. They're really lightweight and cotton, and yeah, at least they'll help protect me from the sun. They are kind of a dark color, so we'll see how that goes. But I have something to show you here. I have 10 pieces of these metal flashing, and if you order something like this, because it's like 10 feet long, it's super expensive to ship. It makes it so much so that it's prohibitive to even buy it. So I had to drive an hour and a half to go pick those up. The Home Depot website had them, but they wanted to charge like super intense amount of money for shipping as well, just for store pickup. I don't know what's up with that, but so I ended up driving to get them. And as you recall, we just have a little bit of prep work left, and I'll be able to start tucking that in and see if I can get that all screwed back down. So, yeah. Okay, let's go do it. Okay, so I didn't want to ruin a second pair of shoes. So yesterday when I finished, I just kicked these off and those socks off, and I went home in my bare feet. And today I came back kind of the same way in a pair of socks, and I'm going to put these back on. So after this job is done, these guys are sadly probably going to the landfill. The good thing is that just, that one valley on the left and right there by the elevator house is the only place that they actually tarred the heck out of it that I have to repair. So if these shoes can last me through that, then I won't have to worry after that. So. There's nothing worse than a feeling of something stuck to the bottom of your shoe. The only thing that's worse than that is wearing pajama pants to work and not having pockets to put your phone in. Okay, so I just got here and I'm already having a challenge trying to find the motivation to get started. But there's some good news here. Our little reservoir of water is all dried up, so I can actually get in here and get this prepped. And then if you remember from the last video, I have just a few feet of prep work to do right here. And then we can get started in replacing this flashing all the way down. My memory is starting to fail. Oh my gosh. So something you guys didn't know about is that I got here and I'd forgotten my glasses at home. So I drove all the way back to get them. And then I forgot that last night I took the battery power drill home to charge the battery overnight. And I was just grinding some of this tar off and got to a deep place and found another screw that was buried and hiding down there, and realized I don't have a drill. So I'm gonna have to run home and get it. But I'm gonna go ahead and see how far I can get before I absolutely have to go do that. Okay, so I showed this in the last video, and this is basically what I'm doing. I'm going to every place that there's another screw head I have to get out. Every place that there was a screw, and grinding out all the tar with the angle grinder, because the new screws have like rubber gaskets on them, and I need to make sure that they get really cinched down and pressed to make a good seal. So that can't happen if there's a whole bunch of tar around it, so it'll be pointless. So basically the process was grinding away and exposing the screws, then going back and pulling all the screws, then going back and doing that little dance and getting all of those. So I'm 95% there. I just need to get this little section here that I left overnight so that the water would evaporate. So almost there. And I do have the battery. I went home and got the battery. So yeah, it's a step back, but also a step forward. So okay, so theoretically I have all of the screws out, and then I have all of the surface prepped to receive the new flashing. So what I'm going to do right now is drink about half a gallon of water, and then I'm going to take the utility knife and sever the previous applications of tar all the way down, first on that side and first on this side, next on this side. Shouldn't be too hard, as you can see right here. Just by removing the screws, it's already popping up. So if I haven't missed any screws, it'll just accommodate me, I think. But I probably did miss one or two because that tar was on really, really thick. So okay, so believe it or not, I think it's time to bring up the new flashing material. After I scored that with the blade all the way down, which took forever, it still didn't want to give up the ghost, because right after the blade went by, the stuff is hot and it would reseal right behind the blade. And it didn't want to give it up. So I used that flat bar there. It's got the end, and just used the fulcrum to really separate it and popped it up all the way down, both sides. So yeah, I think it's time to bring up the new flashing and see if we can somehow manage to shimmy it in under both sides there. I've got hopes, but I won't be surprised if I run into problems. So we won't know till we get it. So okay, so actually got it up here without too much trouble. That's the first piece, and just looking at it, I can tell I'm probably going to need about 5 to get all the way down there. So okay, I honestly thought I was never going to get that in there. Whenever the metal touches down, that glue reseals, or that tar adheres to itself, and it's super heavy, and you need it to all be up at one time so you can slide it in. If you get one side, the tar grabs it, doesn't allow it to twist. It's just a nightmare. So the good thing is that this was a little tougher because it had some extra work around the corner there and stuff, and I've still got to do some little detail work there to make sure the water runs off nice. But these other pieces here, knock on wood, they're just a straight shot, so hopefully they'll go a little bit easier. Probably not, but we'll find out. Okay, sorry about the lawnmower there. Bailey's doing his job. So let's go have a look and see. Hey, you missed a spot! He's got hearing protection and glasses on, so he's not gonna notice me up here. So I'm ready for this third piece, and I've come up with kind of a method to get this done. So I have this long pole here, And basically what I do is, because it's really heavy duty, I can stick it under one edge and then push it all the way back. And then I lift it up and set it on that bucket right there. And then, so this whole side back here is lifted. Then I just have to lift that side and I can get the first edge in. And that's the biggest challenge, is that first edge. So, just like that. So, you can see, I don't know if you can see this. The boards are in amazingly good condition. I mean, in general, this roof is in awesome shape. I think probably because it's not very old. There's like a 200-foot section where I'm not experiencing any problems. The problems are just down at the very end where you can see somebody's tarred. Those valleys right there, that, and on the far side. I think there's a little bit to do over there as well. But that's a lot of work. But the great thing is that it's a good roof. So it just, it needs some TLC, and it's a bummer it's so hot. So, okay, so it's looking pretty good. It's getting late, and I ran into way more trouble than I wanted to right here. This had been just like coated 1,000 times with tar, and I have to get this piece of flashing under it, so it had to come off. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the flashing in the way it needs to be, and then I'll figure out the rest after that. Okay, so it's all in, and it only took me like 4 hours to get the new stuff tucked under the old stuff. Let me tell you, that is some disagreeable stuff. It's in there loose at the moment, and so what I'm gonna do is go to the, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seams, lift them up, and put some roofing cement under there, just to keep it from, you know, backing up. It's downhill, so it should be okay. And then I'm also going to put some roofing cement under the metal on both sides, all the way down and all the way back. The way they had done it was they just put it in and then mopped over it. But I think that roofing cement underneath and then pressing it down and then screwing it will do a lot to deter the water from, I mean, there's not a great chance it can, you know, flow upwards in an upwards direction, but that's even more true if I put that roofing cement under there. So okay, so last night I worked till the sun went down. As a matter of fact, it was so dark that I had a hard time making my way through the building to get back outside. And so today I came back for one last push, and I'm not leaving until this gets done today. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and show it to you now, because later on, once I get going, I have tar all over my hands and I can't pick up my phone. I don't want to get it on my phone. So right now what I'm doing is just showing you where I'm at right now. I went all along and put tar underneath where the sheet metal joins, and then I screwed it back down. And the amazing thing is that not one single screw, it took 250 screws all the way down, exactly one package of roofing screws. And the amazing thing was, there wasn't a single hole where I put the screw in and it was like loose and there was nothing for it to grab onto. Every single one got purchased. So that was pretty awesome. So once I screwed it down, you see the squeeze out here. And now what I'm going to do is go back and flatten that out, and then put tar across to bridge that seam there. So there's tar under and over it. So hopefully, I'm calling that tar, it's actually roofing cement. So, and then I got to do this side here. And I promise you that I'm getting this done today. Just won't be able to film it because of the tar. So this project represents a major step forward for me because I've been needing to do this for a long time and was waiting for when I would be here and it wouldn't be the rainy season. And yeah, it's awesome. Like I said, almost all of the problem is in the valleys, and this is the longest valley taken care of. So that's a great step forward. And I'll keep plugging away. I'll keep choosing sections and keep getting them. And then on the first rain, we'll see if it actually worked or not. So keep your fingers crossed for me, guys. And thanks again. I'll see you pretty soon.